Welcome to basic D&D Beyond Character Navigations. I have a couple of different characters pulled up just so you can see the difference, where one might have something and another character sheet might not. Our very basic stuff, it's going to be right here at the top. These are your ability scores. If you have the Beyond 20 extension, you'll see the Beyond 20 box. So if you have Roll20 or another type of online D&D game pop up, you'll be able to click this button and it'll show up there. I don't currently have one open, so when I click it, it'll just roll right here on the base screen. So these will be mostly used if your DM asks you for a straight strength check or dex, constitution, and so on without any of your modifiers that gets added later with specific checks. So that's about the only time you'll really use these, which is good that they've been separated. Next to that, you have your proficiency bonus, which this will automatically get added into all of your checks wherever it's needed. D&D Beyond does a great job of adding most of that stuff for you. Next to that, you have your walking speed. This lets you know how far you can move in a turn, during combat, or any other special time that the DM asks for it. Next up, you have inspiration. You can click it on, you can click it off as a reminder if you get bardic inspiration, or if your DM's feeling nice that day. Lets you add different types of dice depending on what kind of inspiration they've deemed you worthy of. Next to that, you have your health bars. If you take damage, you can type in, say you took 10 damage, then you would just type in the number, hit whether it's damage or heal. Say somebody tries to heal you and they heal you for 15 points, it'll only go to your max, which is great. If you have temporary HP, say you did a spell or somebody else did a spell that gave you temporary hit points, so now you have your max hit points plus your temp hit points. If you took 12 damage, it'll take your temporary hit points first before touching your current hit points. This is also a cool thing to use if you are a spellcaster that can use polymorph. You can put how much HP your casted form has, so that if you take too much damage and it knocks you out of your polymorph, then it'll take from your HP. Over here you have your saving throws. If you need to make a dexterity saving throw or a wisdom saving throw, just click on these and it has all of your added bonuses, and if you're proficient in those saves. Or if you have special conditions, like because this character is a drow, which is a dark elf, they are automatically have advantage against spells that have charmed, and they can't be put to sleep by magic. So those are important to keep note of. Also, she has a +1 to all of her saving throws, whether that be from equipment or because of the type of path that she's taken. Underneath that, you have your passive skills as well as any special skills. So a rogue that tries to sneak up on you and they didn't really do well in their stealth check, your DM might ask what your passive perception is, and if you beat their stealth number, then you'd be like, oh, you noticed this, etc. Same for insight, is whether you know somebody is being truthful with you. Investigation is pretty self-explanatory. Other than that, your extra senses, they have 120 feet of dark vision, which if you click on this section here, it'll explain what these do and how they work. Under that, you have your more practical proficiencies. I am not proficient in any armor as a wizard, which is fine. I am, however, proficient in quite a few weapons, different types of tools, and then what languages I know. Again, if you click on these, you can add more if you become proficient in them later. But this isn't all that important except for when you're getting gear, or if you're being asked if you understand a language. In the middle is where you'll use a lot of your stats. Depending on what you're trying to do, your DM will ask you for different things. And again, if you click on them, they'll kind of tell you what they're used for, so you don't really have to guess. If you have a black dot, that means that you are proficient and you get that added proficiency bonus. Those are where those come in. If you have a D, which is disadvantage, and if it was an A, it'd be advantage. So when I have disadvantage on perception, it's gonna roll twice. That was a natural 20 and an 8. I have to take the 8 because I'm at disadvantage. And if it was advantage, it'd be just the opposite. I would take the higher number. If you have a black dot with a ring around it, that means you have expertise, which this will make your bonus even higher, which is great. But yeah, click on any of these, figure out what they are. Over here we have initiative. This is you roll this and it'll tell you pretty much how high up in the turn order you are for battle or any other predicament that the DM deems having an initiative order for is necessary. Next to that, you have your armor class. This is what you have to meet to beat. So if somebody is trying to attack you, they have to meet the 17 or higher to actually do you physical harm, unless it requires a saving throw, and then you have to meet their DC. Next to that, you have your defenses and immunities. I don't have any, and I am also not currently under any conditions. Underneath that is going to be where you find most of your information. This right here will tell you how many actions per turn you can take. So these are just a quick list of things that I can do on my turn, but it is not all that I can do. Your turns are going to base down to movement, actions, and then your bonus actions. You do not have to do them in any particular order, just that you do them all, and then when you're done, you let everybody know that you're actually done. But you can scroll down and it'll show you what your reactions are and how to work those, and any other special cases you might have, whether it be from your class or your race or from your equipment. If you want to get to more specific areas, you just click on the next one and it'll say, hey, these are attacks, all actions, your bonus actions, your reactions, other things that you can do, and things that are of limited use. If you're a spellcaster, like this character is, which is a wizard, you can go to spells, and you can see I have a lot more spells than I did on the front side. They'll be broken up to cantrips, which means that they are unlimited use. You can still use them once per turn, but you aren't limited to how many spell slots you have to use them, which is nice. Depending on your level, depends on how cool your spells can get, which you can find your spells through management here, and you can read all of your spells and what they do and kind of figure out what you want. This is your modifier to add to your spells, your spell attack, and what they have to meet to save from your spells. It'll all say on here, like, this requires a dexterity 15 because my saving is a DC is a 15, or constitution, etc. Equipment, you always want to make sure that you have your equipment actually equipped. Just having it in your inventory is not good enough. So if you have special stuff, you want to make sure that you have it equipped. You have your extra stuff that just kind of comes with your character, and if it requires attunement, make sure that you attune it, or otherwise you will not get your bonuses. At that point, equipping it is not enough. You have to make sure that you are attuned to it, and then if there's anything extra in your bag, you can put it down under extra possessions. Features and traits tells you about your class, tells you about your race, and just any more information that you would like to know about. General description gives you your backstory, if you've filled out your characteristics, your personality traits, and then appearances, which those also all break down any extra notes and any extras. That's pretty much a very quick basic breakdown of everything on this section. The only other thing that you really need to know about are these two buttons right here. Short rest, long rest. So if you're using your spells and whatnot, you might be in a long battle and you can no longer use much of your stuff. It requires a long rest to get those back. So once that you've come to the end of your battle and you decided that the party is going to sleep for the night, you can hit long rest and it's going to ask you when you use hit dice. On a short rest, it'll ask if you want to use hit dice. On a long rest, you'll get all of your HP back. Go take long rest, and you want to confirm it. And you see all the spell slots came back, or your rages come back, or lay on hands come back, depending on what your class is. So that's just a quick everything on here. I'll show you another character just to show you some differences. You can see that they have advantage on dexterity saving throws while not blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. They only have dark vision for 60 feet, which is average, and they actually have advantage on their perception checks. So they rolled an 11 and a 17, they get to take 17. They have advantage on their initiative orders as well, which is great. And they can walk 55 feet. So all this will change depending on how your character has been built, or what class, or what race. Everything's a little bit different and completely customizable. Then we have a monk, has 50 feet. She's got an advantage on a lot of things, which is why I love her. She also has immunity. She's immune to disease and to poison as part of the monk feature. And she has a bit different bonus actions, but she's great. I love her. But yeah, that's pretty much a very basic how to navigate this page. As a bonus, if you want to change the color or background, if you click on your character profile right here and you scroll down, you can change the portrait to make it look like whatever you want. Or if you don't like the basic red, you can change it to whatever color as well. Nice little thing. Explore it, enjoy it, and keep on adventuring.